This goulash recipe is a hearty and flavourful stew that is sure to please the whole family. It's made with lean and tender pork, colourful peppers, onions and a mix of Hungarian spices in a rich tomato sauce. Hi, I'm nutritionist Scott Bapty, and in this episode from the High Protein Kitchen I'm going to show you how to make a delicious traditional Hungarian pork goulash. It's a comforting, rich and delicious recipe with a beautiful underlying smokiness that comes from the paprika, and it will fill your kitchen with beautiful aromas. You can easily serve it up with some crusty bread, potatoes, rice and some other vegetables for that complete meal, and it means it's a really good choice if you're doing bulk meal prep. If you're not a fan of pork, no worries at all, it works just as well using lean beef, and if you use lean beef instead of pork, then the macros and calories are very similar as well, so that is absolutely fine. Right, let's do it. This is how you make traditional Hungarian pork goulash. So the first thing you need to do, as with a lot of recipes, is peel and chop an onion. So I'm just using a white onion and I'm just roughly chopping it. I'm not being too precious about it. The next thing to do is to slice 3 peppers. Just go for any colour. More colour just makes the dish more interesting. So slice them and set them aside with the onions. At this point in the video, it'd be great if you could click that like button. It means you're more likely to see my videos in the future. Then once you've got your veggies ready, you're going to heat some olive oil in a large pan on a medium to high heat and add about 500 grams of pork fillet. You want to fry that until it starts to get some nice colour on the outside and it's got some lovely brown bits on it, just to give the dish a bit more flavour. So cook that for anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes depending on how hot your pan is. So once you've started to get some colour on the pork, add in your onions to the pan. Now the pork doesn't need to be cooked all the way through because this will happen during the simmering stage when you add the other ingredients. So add your onion and fry for a couple of minutes until the onions start to get some colour on them too. Once you've cooked the onions for a few minutes, add about 15 grams of garlic, that's about a tablespoon or 3 garlic cloves, and fry that for a further 30 seconds to a minute. Then you're going to add 2 teaspoons of smoked paprika, make sure it's the smoked kind for extra flavour, a teaspoon of chili powder for a bit of heat, and then mix all that through and again fry that for about 30 seconds to a minute. Then you're going to add in your chopped peppers, along with a teaspoon of dried oregano and 2 tablespoons of tomato puree. For a bit of acidity, I'm using 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. You could use white wine if that's all you've got, along with a can of chopped tomatoes and 250 ml of stock. I'm using beef stock, but you could use chicken or vegetable, doesn't really matter, along with some grinds from the black pepper mill. Once you've added all those ingredients, you're going to give that a good mix through and make sure everything is nicely combined. You're going to want to pop the lid on, reduce the heat down to a low to medium temperature and simmer for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes is up, your kitchen will be smelling delicious and you'll be dying to get stuck in to this goulash. So the last thing you need to do is just to plate it up. And then you want to add some garnish. I'm using freshly chopped parsley just to give it a bit of colour. There we go, how good does that look? Super easy to make, on the plate in under an hour, and all that you need to do is get stuck into it. So there we have it, an easy Hungarian pork goulash, smells delicious, goes really well with crusty bread or pasta or potatoes. I'm about to get stuck into it. All you need to do before you go and cook it is to hit that like button. It's not to boost my ego, it's just because it means you're more likely to see these videos in the future, and hit the subscribe button if you are a new viewer. Thanks again for watching, I'll speak to you soon.